Hello, hello. Ray and Ryan here, coming to you with Movement Monday with Ray and Ryan. Special guest Heidi Whitehair joining us tonight. On that, we'll go ahead and jump in. Go ahead, Ryan.
Cool. Ray, it's good to see you. Um, we were just chatting before we got on here, and it surprised me this week. It's Thanksgiving week. It's like in your face, like it's here. I like in the back of my head knew it was coming, but just didn't realize like till today that that's this week. It happened so fast.
No, it definitely crept up on me. Like I can't believe we're in the middle of November already. It's just, well, I guess we're getting to the end because it's Thanksgiving, so it's not even mid-November anymore. So, but yeah.
All right. Well, like Ray said, we have a very special guest with us tonight. She's been doing health and wellness for quite a while. I think Ray's known her a little longer than I have, but she's very, very knowledgeable, very passionate about health and wellness, fitness, this field. If you follow her on Facebook at all, she's very consistent, posting her workouts and walks and runs and all the stuff she does. So Heidi Whitehair, thank you so much for joining our show tonight.
Oh, I love it. Thank you guys for inviting me. This is exciting.
Yeah. So just to kind of get us kicked off, will you kind of tell us how you got started, why you got started in just like wellness, kind of all encompassing?
Okay. Well, it was 25 years ago, believe it or not. When you talk about it's already the end of November, I feel like it's already been 25 years. But I actually found health and wellness because I had a sick baby. My youngest was born early and had some breathing issues because of being preemie. And I was really looking for a way to help him. And I didn't know. I mean, I took vitamins from the grocery store. I didn't really know anything about nutrition. I didn't know anyone that really did. And I overheard a conversation actually at the pumpkin patch on a field trip with my middle daughter. Her preschool class went to the pumpkin patch. And one of the moms at that preschool was talking about how she was keeping her two little daughters, a kindergartner or a preschooler and a kindergartner, healthy back to school. And we all know that if you're a mom or a dad, you know that kids go back to school and they come home with the crud usually pretty fast. And she was talking about how we're at the end of October. It's October 21st, 1998. And she's like, my kids haven't been sick. And I was like, it kind of piqued my interest. I didn't know her. I didn't know any of the moms that she was actually talking to. I had full-time daycare, so I didn't typically get to go on a field trip. But it piqued my interest enough to kind of pay attention. I was being nosy and eavesdropping. And she talked about this product, and I thought, maybe this is what I've been looking for. Certainly the doctors had, told me their opinions of what they wanted to put Kyle on. And I knew that as a 5-month-old baby, that was not a good choice, prescriptions. And so I didn't know what I was looking for, but that day was like something piqued my interest enough to invite her to my house. She came over that night. And it changed our world. Like I certainly needed energy at that point. I had daycare full time, 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. I needed energy. I certainly had weight to lose. Thought I was doing all the right things. I was working out. I, had given up diet pop. I was a diet pop fanatic. I was, eating clean, or so I thought, all the stuff. And I couldn't figure out why I wasn't losing weight. So I had actually asked my doctor, what do you think it is? And he said, let's send you to a nutritionist and find out. And I actually never made that appointment because then this conversation happened at the pumpkin patch. And I thought, well, maybe this will help Kyle. Maybe this will help me. Who knows? And I got started on the products. And inside of that week, my energy was up. I felt good. My appetite was under control. I was sleeping better. And just all the things. And even though I started for Kyle, I was nursing, and my doctors, just said, worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to get healthier. And I'm really grateful that I was skeptical. Like I thought I knew everything. And so I was skeptical. And the fact that I took a look at it and really seriously tried it, I'm so grateful because it changed our life. Kyle's now 25 And this kid has barely had the sniffles in 25 years. I'm really seriously not lying about that. I lost 69 pounds back then. So clearly I had a weight issue. My husband, who has been a captain of Seattle Fire for 33 years, had seasonal stuff year round, always struggled with that. He completely didn't have any of those issues anymore. Just all these little things in our family just disappeared. And I've been kind of that person that started working out in my early mid 20s. But still, even working out and doing the things, without that missing piece of the nutrition part, and yes, movement is definitely medicine, but without all that kind of puzzle pieces going together, I was struggling. And I'm so grateful that I found the company I did back then. Like I said, it changed our life, and it's gone on to, here I am 25 years later, and I started running a year and a half ago, which I always said the only time I run would be from a bear. But today was my longest run, 58 and a half minutes.
Awesome.
I got to tell you, I got on and I was intimidated. I was like, 58 minutes. The longest I really done is like 38, 43 right in there. I thought 58 minutes. Oh my gosh, am I going to be able to do this? I kicked its butt. And yeah, super proud. You get off the treadmill and you're like, I feel so good. So yeah, anyways, that's my story. And I just continued to, I think I fell in love with feeling good. And I fell in love with taking good care of my family and wanting the best for them. And now I have 3 grown children, and I have a 4-year-old and a 17-month-old grandsons. And now I do it for them because I feel like we leave a legacy for our kids, and that includes just being healthy. Like, they watch us. They watch what we're doing every single day. And whether you're leading an unhealthy lifestyle or a healthy lifestyle, they're going to follow in your footsteps. So for me now, I do it not only for me and obviously my husband and kids, but my grandkids.
That's awesome. So you touched on a handful of different things that have triggered thoughts and questions in my head. One is, a year and a half ago, you started running, and you didn't like running before that. What triggered that?
Well, I have to tell you, first, I've had 3 knee surgeries. I have a plate and 7 pins in my left ankle. I've had both my toes operated on because they were frozen like probably 15 years ago. So my doctor said, you can't run. Like, you can't even do a treadmill anymore. And I loved my treadmill when I had it. And, then it became like a hanger, and then we sold it. And then I tried an elliptical, and I tried going to the gym, and I tried just things. And I've always kind of kept up with it. And then I had my grandson 4 years ago, and I put all my time and attention into him. And so the time that I would take for me became Colts. And I found myself getting frumpy, getting heavier, not feeling so great about myself. I'm not 25 anymore, like all of those things. And I want to live well. And people think that you're starting to slow down and you should have aches and pains and you should feel crappy as you get older. And I don't think it should be that way. I don't think it has to be that way. And so for me, I found myself in a place where I was like, something's got to give. Mm-hmm. And I went to a friend's house, and she had this new treadmill, and it was marketed for people with knee issues. And I said to my husband, I go, I need this treadmill. And he's like, you're not buying the treadmill. And I'm like, so if you tell me no, I'm going to do it even more so. So that's just the way it is. So I said, no, I really want this treadmill. He goes, you won't use it. I said, I will use it. I promise. It has the iFit on it. So it's got the computer screen, and you can run like I ran in Australia today. And I'm like, no, I'm going to love this. So we finally got it April of 22. And I started on my first, walking. And then I did that for a little bit, and I thought, you know what? I think I could maybe, I don't know. There's all these programs of running, jogging, intervals, and all this stuff. I thought, let's just try it. I'm not a runner. I really don't like running. I always told myself I couldn't run. And so I started doing it. And literally the first day I did it 30 seconds, I'm like, I'm dying. And then, a couple of days later, it was a minute. And then a couple of days later, it was 2 minutes. And now here it is, a year and a half later, and I ran 58 minutes today. Like, you have to build up. And my personality, and I think a lot of other people out there, They just want to go full, tilt, and then they hurt themselves, or they, are so sore they cannot go, stand up the next day. And I just took it slow and I built up. And when you're taking those steps you guys know this because you guys work out, but when you're taking those steps every day and getting a little bit better and a little bit better, it doesn't have to be I'm at a 2 today and 10 tomorrow. It could be and I tell people this all the time, be a 2 for a week, then maybe try 2.5. So I did it slowly and I absolutely am addicted. I am addicted to it. I cannot wait. My afternoon, I take, I have all my schedule planned, and it doesn't matter if I have to get up at 5 or I'm doing it, before a Zoom in the evening or whatever. I get it done because it's as much for here as it is physically, for sure.
No, and I understand that completely. And again, you touched on a handful of things that are triggering other thoughts in my head. One, I understand the addiction thing. It becomes so much of that you enjoy it so much that you prioritize it differently than you would have if it's a chore. And so that makes it so much easier to get it done, but also it's rewarding once you get it done. And so that addictive feeling of the dopamine that comes with the workout, it's huge. And so, so many people find different ways to have, release those endorphins and getting that workout in is just good in so many different ways. But also, I as a fitness coach, I see this happen, right in front of my face all the time. I see people coming in, and I have a couple members, and I think I talked about them recently in a live that we did a couple weeks ago. I can think of these two women. I coach them twice a week, but I also take class with them 3 times a week. So I'm in there with them, but I'm also watching them on other days. And one of them, I know when she started, she said, I don't run, I'm going to power walk. And I was like, well, that's fine. Do your thing. That's why we have different options. That's why we have different work. But it's building up that strength. And it's not only the physical strength, the ability to do it, but it's the mental strength to say, oh, wait, why am I not gassed anymore when I'm done with my workout? Because you've built now the endurance. You are stronger. You're better. And continuing to work on it more and more works not only to help get you stronger, but also help you, keep those bones greased and oiled for later on in life, or when you have grandkids and you want to be able to run around the yard with them and get down on the floor and not worry about how you're going to get back up, because those are the things that, bring you joy later in life. And, as we get older, it becomes more and more important of why that movement needs to happen. And so it's awesome. I'm glad that you were able to find a way to work your way into it, but I know 100% of what you mean. That little by little, you get stronger and stronger, and then before you know it, you're doing almost an hour on the treadmill when you were after the first minute when you first started. It's definitely night and day. So that's awesome. Kudos to you. Way to stick with it, and I love because I said I would every time you post it. It also gives me a little bit of a relief to see somebody else posting workouts left and right, because I'm sure that there's people on my timeline and that see my posts are like another workout post. And so, right.
I think it's important because I think that at least for me, I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it because it's an accountability piece for me. And, when I don't do it, don't post it. Like sometimes I'll forget for a couple of days. And I'm like, and I know I did it, but I need to also say to the world, I am walking the walk, not just talking the talk. And you know what? I think this, and you guys are both married with kids and all that, but I think this goes across everything that we do in life. I think it goes being a husband and a wife and a parent and a business owner and just being a good human being, that we consistently show up in our lives for the people. And that's part of why I do supplementation. It's part of why I work out. It's part of why, I make sure that I get my sleep in at the end, at the end of the day, all of those things, because I have to show up for the other people. And that accountability piece to me is as important as everything else is.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you experienced runner's high yet?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's the
Yes.
best. Yeah,
Yes.
it is the best. And I'll tell you, sometimes I think of you too when I'm lifting weights and stuff, because I was the cardio queen, right? But years ago, from the time I was in my 20s and started working out, everything was cardio, full bore, all that stuff. And I'm like, the faster I can move, the better, but never running. But I also never really did weights. And now I'm doing weights. And I was that person that, oh, fat arms run in my family. I hate my arms. I hate my arms. I always said that. I hate my arms. Now I look back on pictures of me when I was like 30, and I'm like, damn, I had really good arms. But now with weights, I'm getting really good arms again, and it's such a good feeling, because again, we don't have to get older and start breaking down.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think so many people miss that message in what movement is. Movement is not just walking. It's not just running. It's not just riding a bike. Ryan and I talked recently about when him and I did the Spartan race together, and I focus probably more of my workout on cardio. There is a strength portion of my workout, but I realized that I need to bump that up and focus more on that, because I have the cardio down. It's now a different challenge. I have to work on making myself stronger to be able to do, the different things. And, I think a lot of people miss that if you're not getting that weight part in it, you're kind of setting yourself back on, your weight management, because building that muscle is going to burn that fat so much better. And so it's just such a different mindset. It's hard not to just take people and shake them and be like, no, listen, And so I have, one member at the studio that I coach at, and she's like, where do I need to start? I was like, you need to start on the weight floor, because you need to get that strength in first and use all of your energy that you have when you come into the studio, because you'll push yourself harder on the treadmill when you're done. If you're tired on the floor and you don't want to do it, you're not going to push as hard. So start with the harder part while you have the higher energy, and understand that you have a more mental game on the tread when you get to the treadmill. And so, and that's, something that I try to help, because I speak from experience. I was an overweight kid. I've gone back and forth with my weight. I at one point, so, I at one point had 60 pounds to lose, and I did. And so I've been able to keep it off, and that's how I got to where I'm at here. So, but yeah.
Well, and the thing I think about, because I was an overweight kid too, I'm only 5'2", so like 5 pounds on me is like 20 pounds on anyone else. And I've always had weight to lose, always, my entire life. And, it's like, what I realize now that I did so many years is I starved myself, right? And I can't eat that, and I can't have this, and I can't. And luckily, I have supplementation, which helps me, have the thermogenesis and the burning fat and the boosting your metabolism. And I cannot imagine my life without supplements, because it makes everything work properly. Because that's really was the missing piece for me when I couldn't lose weight initially. But what I've also found is when you have muscle on your body, and you can still get muscle at my age, when you get a muscle on your body, you burn more calories. So I have a husband who's, always had great muscle tone. He's never sits still. He never works out like an organized workout, but he's always like building something or doing something. And so he could eat, whatever he wants. He could have beer and a hamburger and fries. And I'm like having a slice of turkey and a glass of water. And it's like, this is not fair. I don't want to live my life like this. Now I have the beer and the hamburgers and the fries if I want them. I don't do it every day, but if I want them, I have them. And there was such an emotional thing for me before, where I was like, oh, I can't eat that. Or then if I did eat it, it was like smacking yourself, you're beating yourself up all day. And when you have all the puzzle pieces together, the good sleep, the supplementation, making sure your body's balanced, the movement, all of those things, it almost gives you like a freedom to live life normally, where you're not always like freaking out about, at least girls do that. I don't know if guys do, but certainly girls do.
Some of us do.
Yeah.
I definitely do. So.
Well, you've touched on it a couple of times now, Heidi. Talk about sleep and the importance of what a good night's rest does for overall health and wellness, but especially when you're active.
Oh, for sure. Well, from the minute we got out of bed in the morning till the minute we go to bed at night, we're breaking down our body, our muscles, our tissues, all of that. And so really what sleep, I remember growing up with a mom that worked nights, and she would always be like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Well, let's just be honest. If you don't sleep, you're going to die faster, because literally your body is repairing, rejuvenating when you sleep at night. That's what sleep is meant to do. And when you go to sleep, and so many people in our world take medications to sleep, or they have the Darth Vader mask, or they have all the stuff, but that's not sleeping properly where your body's doing the repair. And so if you get to that metabolic rate where your body uses its own body fat to fix and refine and repair and rejuvenate, then you're going to obviously weight management, because you also have that visceral fat around your organs that's not healthy. So you're maintaining that muscle mass, you're burning fat, you're doing the repair, the rejuvenation, but you're also setting your body up for, not having aging issues, not having diseases and disorders, not having weight issues. The fastest way to, they call sleeping the number one health hack. So if you don't sleep, you're really setting yourself up for all of the things you don't want to have happen. So sleeping to me is a big darn deal. And I actually use two products to sleep on, just because we have a sleep patch that to me is just like, I can't live without. And then CBD patch. It's 0 THC, but what it does is it helps my brain shut down, because I have a very busy life. Obviously everyone does. I run a company, I have kids, grandkids, all the things. And it helps me just shut down faster, so my body can get into that metabolic rate where my body's repairing and rejuvenating. And I wake up. I was that kid that a bomb could go off in my room, and my mom would be shaking me to get me out of bed to go to school in the morning, because I wouldn't sleep. Yeah, and I wouldn't sleep. And so in the morning was when I would sleep. And now I wake up without an alarm. I don't have any of those things, and I'm ready to go in my day. And literally you can tell when someone, like, your face is your TV screen to what's going on the inside of your body. And you absolutely can tell when somebody's sleep deprived and when they're not getting that restful sleep. And I will tell you, when you don't sleep right, it's really the worst on your brain. It's like being drunk. Like, you cannot think clearly. You cannot reason. That has to do with weight management, because you make bad choices because you're exhausted, and you're going to try and do things to keep yourself going throughout the day. So sleeping is really, we say movement is medicine. Sleeping is the number one health hack. If you're not sleeping right, you're going to get yourself in trouble.
I think that was the biggest, when I really got serious about health and wellness. And like I said, all the puzzle pieces, not just lifting weights and going to the gym, but discovering about sleep. That was the biggest one that blew my mind, is how much that affects all of it.
Everything. I have a huge history of lots of things in my family as far as, bad things. My mom died of Alzheimer's 11 years ago. And I've done so much research because it scares the crap out of me. My mom's adopted, so we don't really have other family history. So I worry about that. And I want to make sure that I am not in line for any of that stuff. And let me tell you, cognitive, your memory, all of that, brain health, a lot of that has to do with sleeping properly. So, man, I'm telling you, we get one body and one life. And if you're not willing to take care of it, you're going to, when you get to older ages is when everything's going to start breaking down. We take it for granted until it's too late.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about, because I think this is something that everyone really wants to talk about, especially right now. I feel like weight management's a big deal. Every woman I know under the sun wants to at least lose 5 pounds, and weight management is a big deal when you have weight to lose. People will like, oh, well, worry about your health. When, especially girls, if we have weight on our body that we are struggling to get rid of, it is the first thing we think of in the morning when we get up, and it is the last thing we think of when we go to bed at night. And so I just think that it's really important that people understand all of the puzzle pieces. I actually do, you guys know this, I do a webinar once a week on the puzzle pieces of winning at weight management, because I've done it for 25 years in my personal business. And I just think that a lot of people don't realize that it is puzzle pieces. It's supporting your body nutritionally. It's having those mood elevators, the B vitamins to help your body with the, curb your cravings, control all of those emotional eating, those kinds of things, sleeping right, boosting that metabolism, getting your fat burning going. And then, of course, like we talked about, sleeping and making sure you're getting a movement. And one thing I wanted to say, we all, the three of us, we bust a move when we're working out. Like all of us, we're hard workout people. Even if can't get out of a chair, you can work out. You can use arm weights. You can lift your legs. You can do different things from a chair. So don't say, and I'm so grateful that I'm healthy enough to be able to run 58 minutes, but there's people out there that need to start slower, and that's okay, but you can. So look on YouTube, find something that, work out from a chair, whatever the case may be, and just start somewhere, because I'm telling you, when you do that, even if you do 5 minutes for the next week, every single day, at the end, you're going to go to 10 minutes and then 15. And I promise you'll build on.
Yeah. And that's, and that stuff has to be a higher priority in everybody's life. It should be, one of the top priorities, because it's not only making yourself a better person for yourself and extending your life, but it's also improving the quality of your life. And that's, it's huge for not only you, but everybody around you, your mood. It affects, for me, I know it helps me to maintain, along with the supplementation, there's some of it that works in there for me for mood wise as well. But the exercise definitely makes a big difference. If I'm having a terrible day, if I go work out, I can quickly forget about the terrible day that I'm having, and come out of there with a lot of better mindset and ready to basically start my day over, whether or not it's close to being over or not. But it feels good, Yeah. So.
Yeah, one of the things the trainer said today, she's an Australian. She started out as a surfer. The one I worked out with today, she started out as a surfer, and now she runs professionally for her career. And she said, your mindset is your biggest muscle in your body. And I thought, what a great line that is, because it really, like I told you, I got intimidated getting on that treadmill today, knowing I had 58 minutes in front of me. And I was like, can I do this? And that mindset of saying, yes, I can. And I'm going to do my best every minute. And that's what she trained on. Like, okay, you guys, we've got 10 minutes of this and 20 minutes of this. And it was more of you worked up. And I mean, I did it and I felt amazing. But I could have said to myself, I am not ready to do 58 minutes. I can't do it. And I just chose not to do that. I just chose to jump in.
That's the whole Henry Ford quote. Whether you think you can, you think you can. Whether you think you can't or you think you can, you're right.
Yep.
And so much truth in that. It applies to so many different areas in your life too.
Yeah. Well, and Ray, I have to say, with your 60 pounds, I'm sure you've heard this or thought of it. And I'm sure maybe Sabrina's even said it to you. But that 60 pounds that you lost, you gave your family back you for longer. Like that extension of your life, and that you show up differently for your family is a big deal. Same thing with you with sleep, Ryan. The fact that you're sleeping now and you're feeling better, you show up better for your wife and your kids and your job and your everything, your neighbors, whatever. And taking care of ourselves is not selfish, because we get one life. We have families, we have people that depend on us, like I mentioned earlier. And I take that, that to me is super serious.
Definitely.
Just made me think of, it's kind of funny, but when you fly on an airplane, part of their pre-flight thing is, hey, if we get into turbulent stuff, an oxygen mask is going to drop down. Well, make sure you put your own on first and then help other people. Mm-hmm. We have to take that same attitude, in health and wellness. And, is it kind of selfish? A little bit, yeah. But if you want to be there for those people that you care about, you have to do that for yourself first.
Be the example. We talk about that all the time in our company, lead by example every day, because you cannot ask other people to do what you're not willing to do. Like if Ray went into the gym and said, hey, you guys need to be doing this class. And he sat there eating bonbons. They're not going to listen to him for very long.
Where do you sign up for that class?
I know. I want those bonbons.
Well, good deal. Well, on that note, I think we're about ready to wrap up. Is there any last minute things you guys wanted to touch base on?
Yeah, Heidi, do you have anything else you want to add for the good of the order?
Yeah, I think the one thing I would say to everyone that's watching, whether you're young, old, male, female, overweight, don't have any weight to lose, fit, not fit, I think for every single person, when you stop and realize that, like Ryan said, put your own oxygen mask on and be the example to the rest of your family and the people around you, it levels up every single person. You bring that energy to every room you walk into, and you just really hold the space for people to rise up and to up level, like I said. So be the best version of you. We have one life, and none of us know how many days we have on this earth. So I say, be the best you can be every single day and live your best life.
Amen.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Great
well,
work,
Heidi, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me. It was fun.
Good deal. All right, well, we'll wrap it up once again. We are Ray and Ryan, Movement Monday with Ray and Ryan. Special guest Heidi Whitehair. Thanks, Heidi. I know Ryan already said thank you. We are on YouTube. If you are tuning in for the first time and you'd like to hear more about what we discuss, please visit our channel. It's the same name as our live here, Movement Monday with Ray and Ryan. Please give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share. We'd love to support. If there's anything in particular that you'd like to hear us talk about, let us know. If you'd like to, if movement is a passion of yours in your life, let us know. We'd like to have you join us as well. Other than that, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and we will catch you all next week. Bye now.